Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the Real Talk Studios here in Mountie from New Jersey. I am Matt Sudi. This is the Penguin-loving Michael Klankoff.
What up, what up?
This is Brian Fuck YouTube Daily.
Whoa.
Watch your mouth, Matthew.
What?
I
What?
never said anything about that.
Oh, you did. There's evidence on Twitter. So,
I just said YouTube couldn't hear me. That's all I said.
yeah, but you were kind of like,
It's always an excuse.
I don't want to put the headphones on. I don't feel like talking to YouTube today.
Whatever.
And
Start with
behind
me
the
already.
board is the sign guy himself, Mr. Ryan Brodo. And if you think my antics are annoying for Brian, wait till you find out what he's got. So,
Viewing discretion is advised.
Oh, no.
The way you got to start it out.
hey, man.
Got to let
what
the
I'm
viewers
saying.
know where we're headed with this show.
Hey,
Oh,
listen,
no.
man. When you see the gasoline, some people choose to either light it or walk away. I choose to light it because you know what? I'm going to get an explosion,
I'm always
and I
down
can't
for
wait
that.
to see it.
God, I need to walk away.
But anyway, if you're wondering what this is all brought to you by, if you haven't turned it off yet, is Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza here in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call, 856-889-3434, or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. And we are the Hockey Happy Hour, believe it or not.
We are.
Contrary
But
to
we
popular
have no, I'm
belief.
kidding.
So, gentlemen, unfortunately.
I need to get an I'm with stupid t-shirt to wear. So make sure it's pointing this way.
It's going to be a little hard because if he leans forward and then I lean back, it's going to be like you don't know who you're talking about, so you're confusing the audience.
Thanks.
That's
Thank you, guys.
That
Thank
made me
you.
feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
All
always
right.
like when the audience that we have here kicks in.
That is. It is very pleasant. They like Brian. For
They were
whatever
late today, though.
What's up?
They were late today, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all right. It's all right. We gave them, the happy hour. So, they're a little tipsy. So,
that's
they might
where
be a
they
little late on a
were.
few things.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they were.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah. So, with that, unfortunately, it looks like only 1/3 of the Hockey Happy Hour teams are going to be making the playoffs this year. And it's these shitbags, of
Yay.
course.
It's going to be tough, though. I mean, there's going to be no easy series for really anybody coming out of the East or, East. The Metro or anything, So we'll see what happens. I mean, every matchup. There's pretty much 5 teams right now in the Metro that could be a division leader in the West somewhere. So, it's going to be a
There's
rough one.
5 teams in the Metro that could just be leading the division right now.
Yeah, it's insane.
True.
The Capitals just clinched tonight too with a win over the Hurricanes. So
A little late for them. You would have thought that they would have clinched a little earlier.
you would have thought. I mean, they're the first team from the
Goes
Metro to
show
actually
you how
clinch.
close the
Yeah.
Eastern
So,
Conference is.
and I think
It
that makes
was.
it 100 points for them on the season. So,
No. But it's going to be interesting because I was looking at the matchups earlier before all the games went through, of course. But I was thinking, like holy shit, Columbus is out right now. Although that's probably changed because they did beat
just beat
Montreal.
Montreal and Carolina lost tonight.
So that probably changed, and they're back in. But still, it's like, holy shit, it's really coming down to the wire between those two teams. Imagine if Columbus misses. You did all that fucking work,
And you know what?
you still missed.
I think they
Like,
are. That's the thing.
That's
I
the crazy part. Yeah.
I think, whoever it's going to be Montreal. It's definitely got a wild card spot. And I think it's going to be the Hurricanes. I mean, I can't say definitely yet for Montreal, but I do think that they are going to be the teams that that end up making it. So.
And speaking of teams not making it, if you want to know what our Twitter poll question is, it is the Flyers defense still been pretty much disappointing? And it's a simple agree to or disagree. What a surprise on A2D radio. For you to answer. And, yeah.
I got to agree.
You have to agree
Yeah.
because you would hope that the young guys would have progressed. But it's not all their fault, though, because when you think about it, when your defensive leader is Andrew McDonald, you get what you get.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, looking back to the beginning of the season, that was one of the things that we thought was going to be one of the things that held this team down.
True.
And it has been one of the teams that held the team down. Of course, you also you can blame goaltending, that whole fucking circus that they've had
Oh, God.
all
yeah.
season long. Inability to have some scoring depth at times, but ultimately, to me, the Flyers' failure to make the playoffs is purely on the defensive side of the puck.
Pretty much. And it's also from the fact that, they just had that terrible first half and they never recovered enough. Like
Yeah.
if
Until it was almost too late.
until it was almost
Which
too late. yeah.
Technically, they're 8 points behind who actually is Columbus, which because Montreal has more games played, same amount of points, but more games played. But like I said, they're only 8 points behind. But the problem is the Flyers only have 5 games left. 2 of them being against the Hurricanes, which are fighting for that last playoff spot.
And also, we still need teams to go on a skid anyway. So it's like it's way too much has got to go into.
Need to win out the rest of the season, having Columbus, Montreal, and the Hurricanes
All
losing out
just-
the rest of the
it's-
season.
It's
too
no,
much
no.
involved.
Mathematically, they're still in it.
But
Realistically, it's going to be
We're not.
it's going to be tough. It is going to
Notice
be
my shirt.
very tough. And
you're already jumping from fuck the Ducks. I'm going to the Phillies.
That's not true.
you know it is, Brian. Don't lie to our fans.
I'm not lying to anybody.
This is what happens when you like a
The only
team
person
that's
I
on
like.
the West
First of all,
Coast.
don't give me that look.
That's the look I'm used to.
The only person I'm lying to is myself.
Okay then.
Couple of comments real quick here on Facebook Live.
Ooh.
Frank Vespi, hey yo, sorry to bother you. #banana heads at work. I got nothing to say. I'm very tired. They've been very disappointing. The defense has been the number one priority in the offseason when it comes to free agency and the draft.
Oh, obviously. Well, I wouldn't say as much the draft as more as free agency because we have plenty of stock
Who?
in the defense. It's
Huh?
just getting the veteran to mold it together. That's what we need.
Khalil Omer, I hope I said your name right.
What's going on, man?
He wants to say. He says, "Man, oh man, where do we begin tonight? We can begin wherever you want to begin. This is your
Yeah.
therapy session."
You
Oh.
tell us.
Or
what
Brian's. It's one of.
I mean,
it's one of the,
we're
yeah.
supposed to talk about hockey, but you tell us what you want us
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah, man, we'll take care of you.
Hey, man, listen, we are here for you.
Hockey primarily. Myself, Mikey here. We can cover the other. 2 out of the 3. I can't really talk basketball. That's more you.
I could definitely.
So
yeah,
we
me-
can start
that
wherever
would
you
be
wanna
me
talk.
and Brodo's show if you want to get one going.
We
No,
we can go wherever you want to go. Wherever you want to start tonight.
Oh, and keeping up with the theme of all Thursdays, news broke
Yes, so
about the
if-
Eagles. How
yeah.
fitting that it
Mark
happened
Howard.
once again on a Thursday night. Every single fucking time. It's just every single week. I'm wondering what's going to break next week. I really wonder. Like, guys go, oh, news, guess what?
Philly side, Craig Kimbrell.
Some shit like that. Watch it. And like,
That's a pipe dream.
Froston over here on YouTube wants to know your guys' thoughts on the Sam Moran debut.
oh, I think that, quite frankly, it's a great thing. I've been wanting to see Sam come back into a Flyers jersey. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury, which set him back, but now he's healthy again. I'm happy that he's up now and he gets to get some games in, get some more experience under his belt at the NHL level. Hopefully, he'll actually have the ability in the room for him to actually start the following year. That's the problem, though, is with the Sam Moran and the Travis Sanheims and the Hogs and the Goss Despairs and everything. There's a lot of defensive talent that we have, and that's the tough part when you come into a situation like this, and that's what hurt Sam Moran. Because he probably would have been up as a Flyer if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
first
listen,
ice.
as far as Sam Moran goes, he's the type of defenseman that the Flyers have been desperately needing.
They have.
They've
6'7",
been missing all year.
227. Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
something that they need.
Not just that,
Absolutely.
he's got the physical bite.
Mhm.
He can play a little bit on the power play. He has some offensive upside. He's got a massive slap shot.
I'd hope so, being that freaking big.
But
Jesus.
I'm just they've been missing him all year. They've been missing
Yeah.
a defensive style defenseman all season long.
And not only that, too, yeah, and you do need your stay-at-home D-men. You can't just have all offensive touching defense because that's the one thing that kills you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that you see them, they sport defense where it's primary offensive focus. I'm like, you do realize this is not 1980-something anymore, and you don't score 20 goals a game. You do realize that, right? Like, I would rather much see like a Sam Moran get the opportunity to start next year and be a stay-at-home D-man for one of the other younger pairings. Or if you want to pair him with a vet, pair him with a vet. You know, you could have an Andrew McDonald do whatever the fuck he
He'll
does.
teach him well.
Yeah, he'll teach him real well how to get fucking beat, you know, like or a Goss's
no.
Bear or something.
No. Just put him up in the press box like you did a couple years ago and just let him sit. Let him be the $5 million bench man.
Oh, Andrew McDonald?
Take
Oh,
him off.
absolutely. Yes. Please fucking do this.
How many more years of him?
3?
I know. It was such a bad contract.
Well, I think
More?
it's 3 at the end of this year.
Holy shit, that
Or
is
2 at the end of this
awesome.
year. 3 including this year.
I know. It can't come soon enough where we can say say goodbye to that piece of trash. Oh, my God.
Real quick, couple more comments here. Got Tom Arnone chiming in saying, "What's up, my boys?"
Yo.
My man Tom. Frank Vespi also goes on to say from his comment earlier, "Oh, and here's my weekly Joe Thornton sucks quota. Hashtag where's my laugh track. Hashtag have a good night, fellas. Or good night, fellas. Have a good show." I hate those hashtags. sometimes.
Pretty long hashtag.
That is a pretty long hashtag. I get so lost on them. There you go, Frank.
What?
And then Andy Atkinson, me and him were talking earlier about the jerseys on the goat wall and all this stuff. He says hashtag JerseyGate.
Jersey
Told
Gate.
you, Andy. I told you, man, earlier. I told you we changed every jersey. You don't have to worry about Chris Webber. He's being covered by Patrick Kane.
For the one time he was a Sixer. You have Patrick Kane here. You got Paul Correa, Timu Solani, 2 Ducks legends over here, a future Chicago Blackhawks legend. Pretty
All
much
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, pretty much. Aginla right
Well,
over
you
here.
can make an argument for Kimo Timonen.
No, I think Timonen could possibly go. I mean, he was a really talented D-man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I say you can make an argument for him.
oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, God, I miss him. Like he's the kind of player you miss because he's like he was such a consistent,
So gentle.
great player. Hey man, sometimes you gotta have those hands, soft hands. That's what they say in hockey, soft hands.
Would you do spit on it?
There we go. That's a good one on that one. Nice.
What are you doing on that laptop over there, Ryan? Why are you wiping off my jersey?
Whoa.
It's just highlights of Kimo Timonen. Him holding up the cup even though he wasn't in the Flyers jersey. Oh my
What
god.
could have been? What could have been?
He's done.
There's probably so many ex-Flyers though that have like 2 years later have left and won a cup.
Oh,
with
please
us.
don't.
Some not even.
Don't fucking
Like-
remind me. I mean, I'll just go down the
I'm
list.
just
Let's see. We'll even start earlier. We'll go before the decade ended. Rod Brindamore. We'll just throw the
The
easy one out
Brindarmer.
there when he fucking won the cup with Carolina. What else? We have
Mark Recchi.
Mark Recchi, who won it with
Pittsburgh.
Well, no, he won it
Well, no,
in the 90s with Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't think
No,
he was.
he
on,
won
He
it.
won
wasn't
it
on-
again. He won one with
Was he on the 2019?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Boston.
Yeah, he was.
He was on the
Yes.
2019.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Then he has 4 because then he won the 2 with Pittsburgh.
one with Boston, one with Carolina.
Okay, yeah. So he won 4. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was on the 09 team.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering because I know he went back to the Penguins after he had his stint with the
Kimo
Flyers.
Timonen clearly was one with the Blackhawks.
He did win that one with the Blackhawks, which it was like my Ray Bork moment. I will admit, I was very happy to see Kimo Timonen win, even in an enemy jersey. Although not really an enemy because Chicago's in the West. But and then Recchi, of course, and what else? We got Solani, who won his cup with the Ducks.
Kane, who won his first against the Flyers.
Yeah, that's true. And then he went to win 2 more by beating the Ducks most of the time getting there.
Oh.
And then
Damn.
It backfired.
Damn.
and then Aginla, unfortunately, he tried to win one. Keyword is try.
Tried,
Poor
except
guy. Listen, of all the guys on the wall, there's 2 guys that I feel, well, not even just on the wall, but in general, I feel like so bad they never won a cup. One was Paul Correa.
Yeah.
This guy is the other one.
Yeah.
He's fought so hard in his career and has gotten to it a couple times and never won one.
Yeah.
What
How
could've
come you
been?
guys couldn't fucking win a cup with the
Wait,
Ginla?
How about this? We couldn't win a fucking game. Okay.
I know that feeling.
They brought the broomsticks into Pittsburgh too. It was horrible.
Hey, listen.
Ah.
At least
I've
Crank
been
this up a
I've been
little
on the
more.
other side of that.
This up
though.
a little bit
Crank it
more.
up a
Oh,
little
I've been on the
God,
other
please.
side of that.
last year, the Anaheim Ducks got swept
Mm.
in the entire series. Had 4 fucking goals.
I remember that. Yes.
And they lost to the Sharks
And
too.
2 of them was in one
Oh
game.
my
Yes.
God.
I remember. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was that was terrible. I think
remember
that's
that.
probably in history. That
Where's
has
my
to be
razor blade?
that.
Oh, Jesus.
See, here we go. Here we go. We knew it was coming.
No, but you know what though? I've been on both sides
Right.
of it. I've seen a Penguins team.
Let's turn this down real quick.
I've seen a Penguins team
Disconnect the
sweep
stream.
a team in the Carolina Hurricanes in 09 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then we've been swept in
By
the Eastern Conference Finals by
Bruins.
Boston. But, I mean, that Boston team was strong.
By the way, when I was
I
looking
don't think
at,
we should have been swept, but they were strong.
by the way, when I was looking at
2007 is
the,
going to live on, Damien, forever.
by the way, though, I was looking at the setup for the Eastern Conference, and I hate to say this, I actually had Boston and Pittsburgh facing again in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, this year is different. I think, you know,
Here's-
as well as Boston's been playing and how well they are playing right now, the Penguins can beat them in a 7-game series. But
Here's the shitty thing. I lose no matter what. I'm like, great. I hate the Penguins and I hate the fucking Bruins. Like, I lose no matter what the fuck happens in that
Yeah.
fucking final.
Listen, man.
Jesus.
Say what you will. If we're talking Eastern Conference, I don't think there's anybody that's going to stop Tampa Bay.
nah,
I
there
know.
will be.
I know. You're making your case
Playoffs-
that
playoff
they're going to break
series
that
are
trend of
so
those
much
President's
different.
trophies.
They
I-
are so much different, but you know what? This team is way better than they were last year. This team is way better than they were the year before.
I mean,
This
I
team
won't
was better-
believe it till I see it.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I know you're sold on them, but again, we saw a lot of things happen. We've seen teams get built up. We've seen teams that look strong and got stronger, and then they always find a way to just choke it.
But they didn't do anything to get better at the trade deadline. They didn't even make a move.
They didn't
well,
have
because
to.
they
sticking.
did everything in the offseason that they had
They
to.
honestly
Well, right,
didn't-
that's what I'm
and the
saying.
seasons before.
This
I
team,
mean-
the roster is built so well that you don't need Steven Stamkos to score for you every night because you're
No.
going to have other guys
Well,
scoring
yeah.
goals.
Which, by the way, didn't Detroit say they didn't want Stevie Y in their front office? What say you now? After what has happened in Tampa.
I still don't understand why they didn't want him.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing. Imagine what the Rangers could be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's
Please.
7 players on the fucking
No,
Lightning
please.
that are all Rangers players.
You know what? That's the funny part of it, though. I think the Rangers are just like, fuck, we should have totally
yeah.
kept them. Oh, my God.
Just honestly, though, think about it. I mean, half of their defense is on
They're
the Lightning.
captains.
Here's the weird
Yes.
part,
But
though.
the funny thing is, like, if you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning
You got Strawman, you got
on the back
McDonough,
end,
and you got Girardi all on the same team.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're all captains.
Here's the funny part, though. When you talk about it, think about how Martin St. Louis, he goes from the Tampa Bay Lightning where they think, he's past his prime. He goes up to the Rangers, and he has, like, a phenomenal postseason.
Yeah.
And the Rangers went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Didn't win it, but they went all the way there. I'm
Yeah.
like, how the fuck does this happen where Tampa gets rid of some of their old guys to the Rangers, and they have career years, and other old guys from the Rangers go down to Tampa, and they have career years? What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? Like, seriously.
Mark, we're
crazy.
getting there, bro. Let's worry about baseball first. I understand you're excited about the move. Mark Monique saying, "Got Howard, fly Eagles, fly." Is it September yet?
No, not yet.
We're getting there.
I'll be honest with you, though, I am right there with you with September. That means the new season's getting ready to go, and my
For
and my
hockey,
team
right?
has
Listen,
an
I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm on board with that too.
We'd only have a couple more weeks from that point.
Yeah.
See, we're getting to almost the end
I
of
know.
all the excitement
For
for me.
some
Because
of us,
I don't really
huge-
care about baseball. I don't have to watch baseball
After-
because my team fucking sucks. So
After a devastating season, I'm good with hockey. Like, give me the playoff hockey at night. Give me baseball during the day.
I will
Let's
say,
go.
man, I can't wait for the playoffs to get started. It's going to be so much fun.
This
and
year
you know
is
what?
gonna
I'm
be
happy
something
baseball's
different.
finally
The
back.
best part is, though, I will say it sucks that my team didn't make it, but you know what? The fun part is, though, when they don't make it, you have no interest or investment as a fan. You get to just watch as a fan of hockey and just be like, you know what? I get to watch and I don't have to bite my nails. Save it for the other fucking fan
Yeah.
bases right now.
Yeah, but that's the fun part.
Well, it is the fun part, but here's the thing, though.
Unless you score
No,
4
it's
goals in the
not.
entire series.
You don't know how much my heart hurts during fucking playoff series. It's oh my god. I'm sitting there.
I know.
Put your cardiologist on hold.
I need him at my house.
Just get blood pressure pills.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Jesus, man, it's bad.
Doc, it's happening.
It's like, what? The Penguins won
my-
another fucking.
What?
Double overtime.
When we won the cup, my. Well, yeah, double. I felt that double overtime against Ottawa
my God.
2 years
I
ago.
know.
I know, but
Holy shit!
I will
Talk
say
about a
this,
team
man.
that fell apart.
I know. I
Oh.
say this now. Ottawa's public enemy number one should be who scored that? Kunitz.
Kunitz, yeah.
That should be the number one public enemy for Ottawa because his goal single-handedly
Where's he
fucked
now?
Ottawa for the next 2 seasons.
Chicago?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, they don't even got to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. He's in the West now on a team that isn't making the playoffs. So
He went to Tampa and then eventually went to Chicago after. But he's a guy that, hey, if he's like, hey, I want to do one more season with Pittsburgh, bring him back.
watch him go back to Anaheim.
Who,
It
Kunitz?
might help.
Yeah.
He might be the leading goal scorer for the team.
Yeah.
Rude. True. but rude. I mean, it sucks because I've been preaching all year. Like this team needs to find some way to start scoring goals
Yeah.
and find depth scoring, and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
They haven't done it. They didn't
That's
really
been
do
the
anything
problem.
huge at the deadline.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, though. At the end of the day, though, you got a chance to recover and say, all right, we know we have the team that can
You're
score.
3 points out at the trade deadline. Why aren't you scoring? Why aren't you making a trade for? They made trade for defensemen.
What did the Rangers do last year?
They tanked.
They tanked. They're like, all right, here, fans. Sorry, here's our note
But we
from
didn't
you.
do it. We didn't trade anybody spectacular. We traded Brandon Montour. That was the biggest piece, and we got a really good young defenseman in return, and a first-round pick. It'd be either San Jose or St. Louis's first-round pick.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
that's good. Like we sure up the defensive side. Okay, that's good. What about the scoring?
Which has been the biggest problem for
the
The
Anaheim.
worst offensive team in the league.
And they shouldn't be, considering the fact they have
No.
they have players like Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaff. Yeah, they're a little bit older, but they should still be able to fucking score.
Well,
you
Corey
know?
Perry was on a
He was
limited.
hurt.
He
Yeah.
came back in February.
All right,
He only
well,
played a handful of games. Getzlaff, he's not a goal scorer. He's a guy who's going to set you up.
But he's still the captain, though, and he should be scoring in clutch moments. You
He had
know,
like,
to
I
get
think
the
he had
team
like 13 or
going.
14 this
But
year.
You get my point.
That's
though.
average for him.
Yeah, I got you, but you get my
You got
point.
Ricard Raquel, who had 20 something. I think he hit 20.
Also, Silverberg.
Silverberg hit 20. Adam Henrique, he had an off year, but there's a ton of talent in Anaheim, and somehow they're the worst offensive fucking team.
The overall point is they shouldn't be the worst fucking offense because they have way too much talent and they have no excuse.
Ton of talent.
You know, like
Ton of talent.
yeah, it's like come on, guys, you should have been competing for a playoff spot. Hell, you should have been competing for a divisional spot.
I think they
Ford,
got
you
rid
know?
of. I think they got rid of Carlisle way too late.
Yeah, I think that was their problem. It
Yeah,
is-
once they lost 20 games in a row, they probably should have fucking
oddly
did
enough,
it before
here's-
then, you know?
here's the weird part.
I think after
Is
10 games, I would have been questioning him.
Here's the weird part.
This January, I was questioning him.
Do you realize our teams had the same problem coaching? And we got rid of our coach. I thought it was a bad thing. Turns out it was a good thing because Scott Gordon
Listen,
turned out to be okay.
and I,
Yeah,
and I
Flyers got into
said
the
it was
playoffs.
going to be.
Yeah,
I said it
we
was
got
going
in
to
the
be a
playoff
good
picture.
thing too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, isn't that weird how that happened? Like, seriously,
And
our
that's-
teams had the same problem.
That's the first name I brought
But
up
we
too.
didn't really replace our coach. Our GM
yeah.
is
Your
our
GM
coach.
is like, I'll fucking do it. How hard is this job?
That was
He's
like,
like, I can do it all around here. Next, you're
Oh
going to
my
see him
God.
fucking skating
It was-
on the ice.
I mean, it was the
Hey, I
same
wouldn't hate
thing.
it. He was he was a solid defenseman. in
Here's
his
the
day.
funny part. It's the same thing that happened with Phil Esposito when he was the GM of the Rangers. But here's the funny part. It's even 10 times worse because the Rangers made the playoffs, and it was 3 days before the playoffs, and he fired his head coach and said, I'll coach you guys. Everything's going to be okay. And they got swept by the Penguins. What the fuck? How does this happen?
Right, suckers.
Real
we got
quick.
Chrome.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got Chrome chiming in real quick. My guys, Flyers defense has been god awful. I think the catalyst for their defense.
Yeah, they need to get a piece for
My
that
man, Crow.
defense so fucking bad. Like it's the one glaring problem we have because Carter's our goalie,
Oh no,
I
and
saw him giggling over there. So.
he's giggling about something.
Oh, okay.
Why is it always during a break?
Oh, I thought we were just talking. My bad.
Berto, you do realize we're highly trained professionals. We can handle this.
I'm
you
highly
sure?
trained, but I would
Try us.
not even close call myself a professional. Right.
When I say professional, I didn't mean professional as in broadcast. I mean bullshitting. But I'm just saying there's a difference.
Fair enough. All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
See?
All I wanted to tell you was that the Ducks still have 4 games to get, 15 more goals to reach 200 for the season.
Oh my God! Way
The
not
fact-
to dig that knife
The
in.
fact that Ottawa has 228 is something else.
Here, let me just stand up so you can kick me in the nuts even harder. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Ugh.
I would say.
Penguins almost have 100 more goals scored than you guys.
Well, okay, come on now.
I
That's,
hate you.
come on, man. That's a lame.
Actually-
that's a fucking lame excuse because you got fucking Crosby and Malkin on your goddamn team. Come on now.
I heard it coming.
Oh,
man.
my
Tampa Bay has
God.
306 goals scored.
For
this
fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ. They almost have 100 more than us. That's insane.
So they have 200 more than us.
Holy shit. Could you? Oh, my God.
How the fuck does that? Okay, I will say this. I know you're sold on Tampa. If Tampa doesn't get to the Stanley Cup Finals and win this fucker,
That's a failure for that.
Yes,
That's
that
huge
is a
disappointment.
flat out. You just fell flat on your fucking face
They have
failure.
a 100 goal differential.
Oh my God! Oh my God! They.
Plus 100?
Plus 100.
Oh my God! That better be a
I
fucking.
don't think I've ever seen that before in my life.
I can't recall either. For fuck's sake.
That is
A plus
absolute-
100 for a goal
for
differential.
fuck's sake, I don't even think we could say it back in the fucking 90s. I think we have to go back to the fucking 80s to find some shit like that. What the fuck? Like, seriously.
That's insane.
Holy shit.
Then it's like Boston under them, 46.
Can you tell the difference? No, not at all. 146, they're close.
and
They're
you
the
wonder
same.
why I'm
Yeah.
sold on Tampa Bay.
But here's the thing, though. They have to win a cup. They have to fucking win a cup.
They are winning it this year.
They have to. That's
I have
the
no
key
doubt
word.
in my mind.
They have to. Oh, my God.
I'm about to go to AC and put some money on it.
I don't
Well,
know.
your return won't be too well because they're highly favored.
It's like, I'll put 20
What is
bucks
it, 2 to
in,
1?
get 2 back.
It's,
Like-
it's probably not even like a lot of money. at
Probably
all.
like 1-1.
Yeah, Daly will go back and like, I'm going to put 1,000 on Tampa. to
Somebody
win the
that's
cup.
watching, give me the updated odds on the Stanley Cup and Tampa Bay winning.
Yeah, you probably will get like $2 back for your entry. Oh my God.
$5 probably turns to like 6.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. I'm trying to look now.
You might as
Seriously.
well. Hey, it's legal. Calm down. He's getting
No,
all
he's
upset
up to
over there in the
something over
corner.
there.
Let's see, Team Futures.
Oh, okay. Oh, sign
Oh,
guy.
nice.
There we go. Okay.
They're
Hey,
a-
he is sign guy.
The guarantee.
Tampa Bay is a large favorite. They're a plus 200. So if you put down $5, you win 15.
Oh,
So-
screw that.
If you were to put
It's
it on
not
a
going to
team,
go
I
up.
can't
They're
afford
too
that
highly
much.
Rooted. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go up. It's not. They're too heavily favored.
No, if
Yeah.
anything, it's going to keep going down.
Like, well, yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that they're not a minus. Like, a fit like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good point.
It's still, I mean, the chance of that's
Well,
crazy.
Who's
but
got
even
the best? Who's got the best odds? It's
Tampa,
Tampa.
it
right?
has to be
Tampa
Tampa.
Bay, yeah,
if
they're-
it isn't Tampa, then who the fuck who would
the
that
next
be?
the
Like,
next
seriously.
closest is the Flames, Bruins, Penguins in that order.
Well, that
And
would
then it
make
goes-
sense.
Then it goes
yeah.
Sharks, Knights, Jets, Preds, Blues,
The
Leafs.
Jets are that
Capitals.
far down?
I'm
Well,
not
in
surprised.
Vegas odds,
Only
yeah.
because
Oh,
of the
Vegas odds. Okay.
But you
okay.
gotta. Well, I mean, they are gonna have to deal
Well,
with
Calgary's
Vegas
been
probably.
floundering. I don't understand how their odds are still so high.
Well, I mean, they got.
$5
I think they're
wins you
looking at their
45.
overall stats right now and their positioning in the playoffs because they got like 100 points. So it's like
I'm
think
trying to
they're
cash in
looking
big
at it.
here.
I mean, if you're gonna cash in big, you might as well just go for a fucking shot in the dark. If you want to cash in big.
Yeah, if you want to cash
pull
in
that.
big, you want to go somebody else.
Yeah, you're gonna want to go to that team that
You
want
wanna
to
go with, like-
thinking,
You want to go with like the Blues Blues
or some
I'm surprised
shit
the
like that.
Capitals are a plus 1,500, so that's $80 if you put down 5.
But you know what? That doesn't surprise me too much because of the fact that the Capitals have just been playing so kind of underwhelming this year. So I could see
I want
that.
to be able to put down like $20 and walk away with like 20,000.
I'll let you know. Let's see.
You're gonna have to pick like the fucking like. You got to pick like the if the Coyotes get
my
in.
bookie
and you pull
over
the
here.
The Flyers still have they're plus 250,000 by the way. So if you were
Make
to
it
put,
now. Bet now.
if you were to put $5 down on that, you would win 12,500 if they were to win the Stanley Cup.
If they manage to
If I
pull
put it down now.
If you put it down today,
now,
if
yeah.
you were to put $5 on the Flyers to win the Stanley Cup, you would win $12,000.
Yeah.
You're risking $5. That's also having them make the playoffs, be an 8th seed, beat Tampa Bay in a series,
or the equivalent of
and
an
then
AC.
go all the way through the
they
finals.
do play Tampa Bay well.
They do. They do.
We have, but I would have.
Do you see them beating them in a 7-game series where they
No.
have to play them
I would much
every other night?
I would rather draw Washington. Thank you very much. There's at least a choking hazard.
The
that
Coyotes
Washington
are
could suffer there.
a plus 6,000 if that makes
Keep
you
in
feel.
mind a President's Trophy curse, so it could happen.
It could, and I will factor that in, but it's
I don't
the
think it will,
se-
but I think
here's
it
the,
could.
here's the thing, though. It's a second-round curse. You know, it's more of a second-round curse when you get right
it
down
doesn't
to
matter.
it. No, you
curse
gotta
is a
go
curse.
into the specifics because it works with Philly. When it comes to good luck charms, we have the worst luck in the fucking world. So you
Greg
know.
Malakovic is chiming in on Facebook Live. What's up, my dudes? Greg, what's going on,
up?
brother?
So did.
Yeah. What? Huh? Carter Hart's Sully after last night's win was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was great, though. I was happy.
I
to
watched
see-
the game, and he looked pretty fucking good.
He looked.
He looked great.
He
in that
looked sharp
shootout.
as hell in that fucking shootout, man. Oh man, I cannot wait until he gets a full season because man, Hart has been fucking killing it.
Wait till he gets a defense in front of him.
Yes, when he gets a defense in front of him, he doesn't have to make 40 fucking saves.
Flyers
a
are
game.
going to be,
Yeah.
within the next 2 years, are going to be a very scary team.
They should be with everything
They
that
will.
they have set up. They fucking should.
They're
be.
set up to be.
Yeah.
TK's proven that he's a scorer in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Patrick still has a little bit of growing to do.
Yeah,
but
he
yeah,
needs
but
to-
he's
You know what
still
you're getting
very
from
young.
Drew. You know what you're getting from Voracek.
Yeah.
As much as people don't like Voracek, and yes, he turns over the puck a ton.
He
well,
does.
Giroux's going to
But
be
he's
traded.
one of the best passers in the league. He's one of the,
According to Ralph, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's like, yeah, 100-point season 2 years ago, trade his ass. You know,
I
like,
think Drew's at what, 90 now?
yeah, 90-point season this year, 100-point season last year, trade his ass.
I mean,
he ain't worth it.
Nikita
you know.
Kucherov's at what, 125,
Probably.
130? Last
Yeah,
I heard,
but-
he was at 120. First player to do that since what?
121.
I think it's one of the
121.
few times you could say someone actually
So he's slowing down.
Oh, so he's slowing down. The equivalent of slowing down. Oh, my God.
It's what, like less than a point and a half a day,
Oh, my God.
a game?
That's like if
It's
you
like
play.
almost 2 points a game.
That's like
It's,
when you would play
1.5.
NHL.
Oh, it's 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
Dude,
On the
that's
bu-
like
on
if
the
you
button.
played like NHL, like the old NHL games, and you just like drafted like Kovalchuk when he was young and Jerome McGinley, and if you put them on a team, they would average like 82 goals for 82 fucking games.
Finished my first
Like,
season. I tried to
seriously.
trade up to get
Giroux has 80.
80. I thought it was
80.
closer to 90.
Still though, 80
20
points
goals,
is a
that's
very
that's-
solid year for
yep.
him, so I'm not complaining at that at all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. But you know, you got those guys. You know what you're gonna get from them. You know what to expect, and you know, just bring in a couple
The-
other young pieces, maybe a couple veteran scorers, a legitimate sniper. This team, they're a playoff team next year.
And then at the same
Leon
time,
Draisaitl has 99.
two. And yet Edmonton still can't get into the fucking playoffs.
No, you
He
have
had a hat trick the other
McDavid.
night.
Yeah. McDavid has 112 points, by the
And
way.
they still can't
And
get
they
into
can't
the
do
fucking
fucking
playoffs.
shit.
They
the
can,
defense sucks and their
Yep.
goaltending's even worse.
they can do fuck all or nothing.
They gave away their
Oh.
bet. They traded away their best bet. Oh wait, they have
Larson?
Anthony Stolarz now, don't they?
Oh,
They do, but here's the thing, though. Stoli, hot. Don't
the face you made.
don't get immediately there because Stoli is still unproven. He never played that much with the Flyers. He played a handful of games and he looked good in all of them, but we never really gave him much of a go at the end of the day. So
why you trade
we'll
him.
see.
it's too much of the farm system for the Flyers.
That is
and,
true.
And plus, it's just a fact that they brought in too many goalies to even give Stolarz a chance. You know?
Yeah, he kind of got smushed into a shit sandwich right there when you think about it, because you got the
Smushed into a shit sandwich.
no, seriously.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, like you got Steve Mason currently starting, then they bring in Brian Elliott. They're like, yeah, Stoley's fucked, because then you got Hart coming down the pipeline, and you know that he's going to be the big starter because he was the big touted prospect. So it's like, yep, Stoley's fucked. How long till we trade him? Sure enough, we did.
Yeah.
We got Frost and One checking in on YouTube.
You figured it
Where do I
out.
start? I figured it out like 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much.
I'll have you know.
We already went over the thoughts on the Sam Moran debut. He threw out a couple other names when we were talking about Flyers who've won the Cup after they left. Justin Williams,
Justin Williams.
Jeff Carter, Mike Richards,
Patrick Sharp.
Patrick Sharp is another one. He also says, fun fact,
Oh.
it was a 1-8 in the East. Leaves Isles would have been first-round playoff matchup.
Holy shit.
Confirmed Kunitz is a Hawk. He said, give me one. Listen, I agree with him. The playoff format should go back to 1-8. So the Isles.
I do like that format. I always did like that format.
So that way the Isles and the Leafs play each other.
Well, you can blame the league for wanting to make it an Einstein project when Winnipeg came back into the league.
Wow.
He
Okay,
also
by the
wants
way, go ahead, finish that.
to know our thoughts on the Joel Farabee signing.
I like it. I mean, he's a kid who's got a lot of upside to him, and he's going to be another one of those kids who's going to be, eventually everything going well, he can score some goals. He can be some depth to this team that we would like to keep. That's pretty much what we've got. We've got a lot of really great depth pieces. That's what you get in your latter portion of the first round. You get those guys who are either going to be on the first line, but they're not going to be that big superstar stud, but they're going to be a guy who fits well with the superstar stud.
Yeah.
The same thing, or there'll be a stud on that second line. That would be like, you're focused on the first line. You forgot all about Farabee on that second line, you dumb fuck. That's how it turns into.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I think that that's the future we can have as long as we keep on drafting kids like him. We keep looking up, So I'm perfectly fine with the signing on that completely.
I like the signing of Farabee. I think it's going to be really good in the long run.
Yeah.
I want to see O'Brien get signed. I think he's got more of the upside than
I think
Farabee
he does. Yeah, I will say that's why Hexie picked him. Yeah.
I also think that he's spending a little bit more time in college before he signs a contract.
Which is fine. If that's what takes him for him to be a little bit more mature and he gets his game up to a level where he doesn't have to spend 3 or 4 years in the Phantoms, I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Real quick, the Islanders
Why?
scored 2 goals in 34 seconds to end up beating the Jets 5-4.
Holy shit.
Dave,
Just letting you know. What
why
is it,
would you
O.J.
want
Simpson?
Kunitz back?
Oh.
He's
2007,
too
brother.
old. He's old. He's not really all that productive anymore.
No, he's not. Ever since he left Pittsburgh.
Well, wasn't he playing on a line with Malkin?
Or Crosby.
He
one
was,
of
I
them.
think he was a third. He was a third line winger, wasn't he, for you guys?
Oh,
we
no, so he used
spread
to
him
score
out
on-
everywhere. And it's kind of like what we're doing with Hornquist now. Where, like,
Why would you want Kunitz back?
Hornquist
He's
has
like 38
been
years
third
old.
line, fourth line.
He's playing hockey in a
just-
walker.
He's playing
Jeez.
hockey in a walker. That's pretty much what Elliott does, too.
He's only 39.
He's only 39. That's old in hockey years.
He only has 8 points this season.
You give
Good
me that.
God,
He's
that's
got 6 years on me. I'll be in a walker soon too. Watch. Yeah. On who?
Name it. Oh, trust me. After many people doing the whole "How old will you be when Bryce Harper's contract is officially up
I'll
with the
be in my
Phillies," I
50s.
think that
No.
I think that's a we don't. Oh, R. Kelly never changed.
No, wait. 13 years. I'm 33. No, I'll be 46.
So you'll be 46 years old after Bryce
We'll be
Harper's
creeping in on
contract?
40.
I will be. Yeah, I'll be ready to hit that big.
Whatever you
4-0.
are, plus 13.
You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Well,
What the fuck you
as-
worried about?
as of
You're
today-
30 fucking 5. We'll be cracking 40 by the
That's
time
basically
that
how
fucker's done.
how old I am now.
Well, I'll be 30. I'll be 37 by the end of that season contract.
And I'll be the same age as Harper. So
Can I get on a show with guys my age?
Well, you got the roundtable on Saturday.
I'm not going to the roundtable on Saturday.
Oh,
Which,
I'm
by the way,
sorry.
MLB roundtable show Saturday at 6 o'clock on A2D Radio.
Damn.
Plug that? No. kidding.
Don't you plug that shit.
We have our show to worry about.
It's all about us, damn it. No.
Stop being a team player, will you?
This is where the fucking money is.
Why is it when I do that the song goes away?
Because you're not Jesus.
We'll get wax for your cross.
Right. Sorry, that's Carson.
That is true. It used to be Foles, but now that Foles is no longer an Eagle, it's now
No.
Harper.
Carson Wentz will
What?
always be Jesus.
Well, to be fair,
Wait, what did I agree with? Oh,
Carson
Yeah, why not?
Ginger Jesus.
He is Ginger Jesus.
so? I mean, we don't have any ginger-haired guys on the Steelers. Not yet. And when there is, that conversion starts.
They might not have ginger guys, but they have rapists.
Hey, watch that.
Well, we call that ginger. You know what? It's official. Well, you knew it was coming.
Sorry.
Killing me with this shit.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure that was every single Steelers reaction when they found out that those charges came out.
It's the only thing people have on me. They're like, well, Ben's a rapist. Like, thanks. Old news.
Mike was like, no, not this way. Not this way. Anything but that. And here's the funny part. It's funny when you look
My
at guys.
abs hurt.
It's funny when you look at the Steelers as a whole team and you
could
look
just
at how
hold my
annoying
diaphragm.
Le'Veon Bell is and how annoying Antonio Brown is. Like, what they do is mild compared to that shit. That's the funny part when you think about it.
YouTube's even saying it now. YouTube chat.
We fed the trolls and they shall come.
Oh, no.
You gotta read it. Though. You gotta
Oh,
read it.
no. What did he say? Hang on, I'm refreshing.
I'm scared.
Who?
Oops, wrong show.
Who's Eric Durfstan?
Huh?
I don't know who
Stand?
that is.
Not that
What's
one.
up, man? How's it going?
No, no,
Wait,
no, that
you'll,
was Frost.
you'll be 39 when Harper's contract's out? This is not.
Bravo.
Ben Roethlisberger throwing picks and assaulting chicks.
It's a good one.
Come on, that's clever. That's a good one.
That's a clever one. Yeah.
Can't
So,
be too mad about it.
No.
hey, were we talking about hockey?
No.
Do we ever on the show? I mean, really,
I don't know. I sometimes I think we do. But here's another one, by the way, for those Flyers who won a cup after they were a Flyer. Here's the one people forget: Dennis Seidenberg,
Ooh.
because he was a Flyer too at one point. Believe it or not.
Yes, he was.
Oh, that sucks. Gagne won one. Rikers, Jeff Carter. Who else did? No, Matt Carl didn't. He was on the Lightning. He could have, but he didn't do
Matt
it.
Carl, yeah.
And also Braden Coburn too, but he didn't as well. Timonen. I'm trying to think of anybody else. God, it sucks when you gotta when you go through that fucking line. Ugh. That blows.
Do you guys remember when Matt Molson was good?
Yeah, and
When?
then he went to Buffalo.
Yeah, I was just thinking of his name.
Yeah, Matt Molson was good on the aisle, then he went to Buffalo. Then
He
that
wasn't
shit
even
went
good
to-
on the aisle.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
That's
in
why he got
Buffalo.
traded to Buffalo.
We're gonna send you to the fucking Siberia of hockey.
Hey, listen.
Uh,
Like in the NFL, in the NHL, Buffalo is a city where careers go to die.
Yes, and I felt so bad for Jack Eichel when he got picked. I was like, oh, you poor young man.
What about Rasmus Dahlin and Risto Ristolainen?
Yeah, but they're not. They're
Rasmus
not game.
Ristolainen.
Yeah, but they're solid players. But I was more
Yeah.
worried about Eichel.
Can't worry about Eichel. He's a little douche anyway.
Well, he's an American player. I was hoping that maybe he'd bring some fire to the national team at least. Bring
Just
a
a
gold
little.
medal home that no one will care about.
Oh, that's a good one. Kyle Oposo.
Kyle. Oh yeah, Kyle Post, another guy who turned his shit after he left the Isles. He was
True.
never a Flyer. So there
Yeah,
you
he went
go.
to Buffalo.
He was Buffalo too, and his career went to shit.
Yep.
Hasn't recovered since.
Like I said, Buffalo is where careers go to die.
Who else went to Buffalo? I know
Jason Pominville went back after being in
Vanek
Minnesota.
did go back, but I don't think he's there
T-Van, yeah.
anymore. But I think he did go back
No,
for
I
a
think
second stint.
Vanek went to. Where did he go?
Well, I think Vanek came from Buffalo, went to.
He was originally drafted by Buffalo. He spent his time there, but I swear he came back
He may
for a
have.
short stint and then he left again.
I'm gonna look that up for you.
I don't know
Please
where he
feel
is. I
free.
want to say
Domas. There's no H in his name.
Not Maxim Afinogenov. He when he left, he left. Same thing with Danny B. He never went back either. Thank
There
God.
is an H in his name. I thought he
We were
was
very
spelled like that.
appreciative of his
I
services.
thought it was TOMAS.
Yeah, well, apparently everywhere on here doesn't spell it that way. So he is
Ah.
still playing. He's with Detroit.
Vanek.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Vanek is
Detroit,
under the,
but I didn't know if that was actually it or not.
Vanek. Well, here's
Let's
the thing,
just
though.
say that he played for 6 different teams in the last
3 years.
3. Yeah.
Was any of them Buffalo?
Minnesota,
No,
Dallas,
okay.
Vancouver.
Actually, okay. So Matty, wait, no, never mind. I lied.
Oh, okay.
No,
Minnesota.
he went from Buffalo to the Islanders. From the Islanders, he went to Montreal. From Montreal, he went to Minnesota. Minnesota, he went to Detroit, to Florida, to Vancouver, to Columbus, to back to Detroit.
Oh, that's right, because I think they had interest in getting him back, but I don't think Vanek wanted to go back. That was the thing. And I don't blame him. I really don't fucking blame him at all. Oh,
That's crazy.
Ooh, he brought up another good one. I like this guy.
what?
Billy Lano.
Oh, yeah. Billy Lano, who had that great year with Philly, and then he went to Buffalo the following season, and he got his ass beat by Philly. I'm like, yeah, you guys really won the fucking off season on that one. Woo.
Talk about a one-hit wonder.
Yes, he has 1 year in Philly.
Gets his payday
Does nothing.
and retires
I
after
re-
2 years.
I remember him too.
That he was Kovalchuk, but he's what Kovalchuk
He was
wishes.
Kovalchuk for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like he wished he could be Kovalchuk. That was what he was. That's what Kovalchuk also wishes he could be.
We're
Because
turning
Kovalchuk
this-
wishes he could get a nice payday and just retire and not have to
He
do
got a
anything.
nice payday. He got a nice payday from L.A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now he
he
doesn't
gets
have to do
6
anything
what,
because it's not like that
6.5
team's gonna
million
fucking
about
do
that.
anything.
Over 3
ridiculous.
years. Yeah.
By the way, I texted you guys this. Did you know Ron Burgundy called the entire second period
Yes.
of a game between
Yep.
them and the Sharks? And it's fucking hilarious. There's a
it
part.
was all right.
Well, the funniest part was when he was talking about I saw Jeff Carter, in the locker room. He's like, I gotta say, he's got the goods. I'm like, because here's the funny part: if you don't know enough about Jeff Carter, that could mean a lot of fucking things about Jeff Carter. So that's the funny part.
Got that blow.
It's Los Angeles, man. So I mean, there you go.
You poor
We're gonna just turn this into like a throwback Thursday episode because I
Yeah.
like talking about these old guys that
Well,
just
I mean,
careers went to absolute shit
It's right.
after
I
they
mean,
left the
with
team.
Carter, hell, there's that part with Burgundy where he says that he only smoked crack like 6 other times, and it's like, oh, was he smoking it with Carter? Because that could have possibly been the case.
He's probably smoking it with Richie.
Yeah.
So he also goes on to say that he has a Stanley Cup Billy Lano jersey.
Oh, he
So
does.
I got my brother an Andre
Wow.
Mazaris jersey.
Mazzara.
Oh, there was a guy who pretty much, was there for Philadelphia.
He was there.
Yeah. You know what we
He
used to
didn't do
call him?
much, but he was there.
You know what we used to call him in Philly? We used to call him Mizzle Toast.
Nice.
He's always getting toasted. That's
That was true. He was always getting fucking toasted when he
Jesus.
was on the Flyers.
it's a shame.
If
'cause
we,
he-
that was another one of those Paul Holmgren signings. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're getting Andre
do you
Mazzaros.
remember where he came from?
Yeah, yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah.
Really? Again?
Oh my God.
You're. I'm helping you. Nitro Freak. We are still alive. Kind of.
Sort of. Yeah.
You're not mathematically out.
No.
I am.
Yeah, I know we're not mathematically.
Which
adequate,
is still weird because the Penguins still haven't clinched yet, which doesn't make sense.
Well,
See, it's weird to you because you're not
Capitals
used
just
to it. Because usually by now they have.
Yeah. Well, we have 5 games left.
because you have so many guys that are left in that are still, mathematically in the playoff run.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we won't be if we take another loss.
It's because there's one team out with
oh,
90
Pavel
points.
Kabina, I remember him.
Oh my God, there was another guy I forgot who was on the fucking Flyers for 2 seconds. Jesus.
Alexander Dag, biggest bust in the NHL history.
Yeah, he has to be. Good God Almighty. He wasn't even drafted by the Flyers. He was drafted by Ottawa.
Traded to
Traded to
Flyers.
Philadelphia for 2 seasons
That's how
and
I
then
feel
left.
about
did they
Joseph
give up?
Morrow.
I forget who we
defenseman
gave
that we
up. I don't
traded.
think
Who
we
did they give
really
up?
gave up anything for him, to be honest with you.
No, they gave up something.
But it wasn't anything like critical. I'm trying to remember who the.
Why
fuck
do
we
I
did
want to
give
say it was Vaclav Prospal?
I could be.
But I
you
don't
could
think
be,
that's right.
I don't know because I think Prospal
Prospal played in Ottawa, but I don't think that's why.
I don't think he played. I think he still played for the Flyers in the early 2000s. So I don't think that trade had happened. That trade had happened by then. We'll have to see. Let me look that up since we might as fucking well. We're looking everything else up for fuck's sake. Might as well.
Pavel Kubina. Oh, I remember him.
Who else
I
did
do
the
too.
Flyer? Oh, Nikolai Zherdev. We had him for a fucking
Pavel
year.
Brendel.
Pavel Brendel. Oh my God.
Darian Hatcher. I have his jersey.
Darian Hatcher. Yes,
Darian Hatcher he had a good career.
he did.
Even
man.
when he came over to Philly.
Well, he did. He had a good couple of years. Unfortunately, we got him towards the end of his career. What a fucking surprise.
I don't even know who that is.
It was the same thing with Rathje, too.
Hey,
Kyle
Maddie.
Woolwood.
Hey, Maddie.
Yes.
What about when Vince LeCavalier was here?
Ooh.
Vinny, oh my God.
Listen,
Philly ruined
getting-
his career.
You ruined
Philly. No.
himself.
Timeout.
Oh.
No.
No.
Ruining his time in Philadelphia, Vinny LeCavalier was getting rid of
Peter Laviolette.
bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once Craig Berube came in and got a hold of that system, it
Well, the
totally
whole
destroyed
team went
Vincent
to
LeCavalier.
shit when Craig Berube came in.
That's true too.
It was so bad we thought Couture was a bust.
Yeah.
That's
Was
how
he-
fucking bad.
Listen, was he overpaid? Yeah, probably. But that system that Peter Laviolette had set up was made for a guy like Vinny LeCavalier.
I'll give you guys two names as far as, obviously, Matty, you and I are the only Flyers guys, but as far as the most hated Flyers of the last, say, 10 or so years. Ilya Brizgalov, you guys
Oh,
would agree.
God, Brizgalov.
And then Carcillo.
Ooh.
Oh,
Danny
I was right.
Carcillo,
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Valclav.
It was
Prospal.
Vaclav
Barcelo
Prospal.
was a piece of shit.
And Pat
Especially in the
Falloon.
playoffs.
Yes.
So,
Matty, do you remember how we were hoping that they would, healthy scratch Carcillo in the playoffs because he kept getting in the freaking way?
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
he was a
got-
penalty.
That's what he did.
He was a penalty waiting to happen.
He was,
That-
he was like a gnat.
Who does that
That's
remind
what he
you
was.
of?
He was,
But that was the thing, though. Back then, that was still when the Flyers were transitioning from we want to be the bullies, but we also want to try and compete in the NHL. I was like, well, then you can't be the bullies.
Mhm.
And Holmgren didn't understand
It's not
this
that league anymore.
because Holmgren's a rock stupid prick. So it's just the way it is. Hence why he fired Hextall and hired Chuck Fletcher. Now I'm not gonna dog it anymore. I just wanted to get that last shot in, just because I can.
Well, I mean, it's still up in the air to say
It
whether
is
or not
still
this has been the
really,
right
but
move.
I'm gonna give Chuck a chance. I'm wondering what he'll do. I mean, really,
Chuck.
he didn't do anything egregiously bad. He did miss out on a couple of prospects and a couple of really good players in Minnesota, but he didn't do bad in Minnesota. Minnesota just wasn't built
No,
to
well, I
get
mean,
far.
He
that
made
was
good
the way
signings.
it was.
That was the thing. I mean, obviously the big thing was him bringing in Parise and Suter in the same year.
yeah.
You
and
know?
they're still doing their thing. and
Yeah,
Parise's
I mean,
back to playing
Parise's
at his
finally.
level.
The thing is, he's finally healthy.
Yep.
And that's what hurt him big time, is because he was just so inconsistent because of his injuries.
And not only that, too, Bruce Boudreau has a very offensive system, and that helps Parise because other coaches that the Wild had, the Wild had always been a very defensive-minded team, and that kind of hurts Parise because Parise is an offensive player.
Yeah.
Sutter, it doesn't matter. He's perfect. He's a defenseman. Of course he's going to fit in
Oh,
perfectly to that system. Parise suffered from injuries. Secondly, inconsistency because of the fact that it's a defensive system. Parise was an offensive player. That's why when he was in Jersey, he was such a pain in the ass because the Devils had an offensive system. That's what happens.
And now they brought in Bruce Boudreau.
Yeah.
And now look at what's going on.
Look
now
at him
that
now.
He's healthy again.
Yeah.
What is he up to?
Yeah.
Just shy
Well,
of 30 goals.
And that's one
Yes,
of the
I
things.
heard he was at
it's-
25.
Back to doing what he was doing in
it's
Jersey.
It's
you
a
know?
reason why Crosby went out and tried to recruit him. I mean, he physically went out and met with him to try to bring him to Pittsburgh. Obviously, he went with the money, which I probably would have too.
But he also
going
wanted to go
Minnesota. Yeah, exactly. It was his home too. I mean, and he got to go with another All-Star. It started to build was bringing a super team, and it never worked out for him. But it was something that they were trying to attempt. And again, it was a guy that the Flyers had a chance to sign also with Suter. Or Sutter.
No, Weber.
Or Weber, my bad. Okay.
They were on
yeah,
the
they
Predator,
tried. Well, Shea Weber was a restricted free agent at the time,
and we signed
and
to
they
an
had to
offer
sign
sheet.
to an offer
Yeah.
sheet.
Okay, that was
And the
Nashville
Predators
met.
broke the bank to keep him, too.
They wound
because-
up trading him anyway.
Yeah.
Greg over on the Facebook has a question for you guys.
Okay.
He says, if you are Fletcher, what is one move that you make in the offseason?
Well, look at the defense.
Yeah.
Look at defensive free agency, and if there isn't anything there that's tantalizing to you, because all the other D-men that were worth a damn, they all re-signed to their teams or they were committed to somewhere else. Look towards other teams. and say, like, listen, let me take a look at what you got, and I'm willing to offer you something. I don't want to give up a prospect, but we have a lot of defensive prospects, so we can burn one. You don't want to make a habit of it, but you can take that gamble this time around because you have enough defensive prospects to burn one.
There's a lot of defensemen out here for next season, though, that's available. Obviously, big name being Erik Karlsson, Jake Gardner, Tyler Myers, Alexander Edler, Ron Hainsey. I don't know how much longer Ron Hainsey is actually going to play, but
Sorry, what were you saying? I just saw Brian throw his phone to the floor.
let me.
I mean, you had to know that was going to happen.
Okay, they're not showing.
I thought
me
I had better hands than
Okay.
that.
But I mean, there's good players in here. I mean,
Edler's nice.
Edler's not bad. No,
Yeah.
he's not bad.
Well, they're
Gardner's-
expecting Alex Edler to re-up with Vancouver.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
there you go. He's off the board automatically. So
Well, Tyler Myers was another guy, big defenseman
that
too.
worked.
He would be a nice fit. So I mean, it's just like we've been saying it all season long is you got to get that veteran defenseman. I think more of a stay-at-home defenseman. Where he's only going to get you 4 goals a season.
But that's
kind of
fine.
defenseman.
And
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's going to be Sam Morin. But you go out, you
Yeah.
got to try and make a trade. You got to free up some cap space. That way you can.
which is fine. I mean, we freed up some with getting rid of Wayne. I mean, Hartman's
unfortunately,
not making too much
I-
money.
As much as every fan that I've ever talked to says it, you got to trade McDonald. You're not getting
Can't.
rid of him.
You can't.
No one's going to
can't.
take his contract.
You can't.
No
His
way.
contract's too bad. I've been saying that for years. I wish we could get rid of him. But
See-
no, even Arizona doesn't want to take
Yeah.
that contract. And they took the Chris Pronger fucking contract.
And Pavel.
Well, they had
Datsyuk.
they had to take him to meet.
Yeah.
to meet the cap status,
cap
but they
status,
wouldn't
but-
be willing to take Andrew McDonald. Who the fuck would? That's like taking.
No, they're on the verge of
They're
fighting
actually
for a playoff spot too.
Yeah. I mean, what? You
That's
wanna,
the crazy part is that they're literally they had to sign contracts of players that retired
It physically hurt Brian to say that.
Physically hurts.
just to make the cap, and yet they're a team that 2 years down the road is fighting for a playoff spot.
I know. How
Uh,
the fuck does that happen?
Frostin said personally he doesn't want to pay for Jake Gardner, which I kind of don't blame him.
I get
He's
you on
going to
that
be wanting
one.
a lot of money.
That's true.
Carlson would be nice, but you need to
gonna
know how
want-
healthy
talk
he
about
is.
yeah.
He's gonna want money too.
He's gonna want even more money.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out top defenseman names. That's all.
I mean, again,
I still say go after Justin Falk.
yeah, I've been saying Falk too. Like, I want Falk so bad, but the problem is that now that Carolina's
Now that
actually
Carolina's
doing
doing good, yeah.
shit, it's like, damn
might-
it,
he might stay
he might
there.
be willing to stay with Carolina now, unless we sweeten the deal for them and we do give him a defensive prospect. I don't want to do it, but again, like, we have enough, we can burn one, and that's the thing. I don't
Give him one of the guys that are on the Flyers defensive core right now.
Yeah, again, I don't want
Obviously not a Provorov.
No, not a pro, not a pro.
Ghost either.
You know who I would probably
Maybe Ghost. I don't want to see him go, but because I think he still has a lot of room to grow.
I don't know. I don't
But
know
you gotta
about
you gotta bring in
Ghost.
a leader.
I know you got to bring in a leader. You're right, but I don't know.
To
Ghost
get a guy
can't-
like Falk, you got to give
but-
something up.
That's the thing, though. But with Falk, it's just like, I mean, Ghost can be the leader. He could be the guy who can learn from Falk. That's the thing.
That's the thing. I think he is your defensive
I don't know.
captain of the future.
I don't know. I would look more. I don't want to give up Sanheim.
Could be Provorov though too.
Listen.
I don't know. I'm feeling.
There's a few
both.
guys on that defensive core that you can
No,
consider.
I
maybe
would say
captain.
between those two, but I don't know. I still have more.
I don't know. Provy makes a few mistakes that I'm not too much of a fan of.
I
but he still
personally- I
needs
like
to
Ghost
calm
better.
down on.
I personally- I
Ghost
like
a little
Ghost
bit
better.
more.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. If I'm looking at it this way, I'm looking more towards maybe having to move a Hog. I don't want to.
Well, it's funny you say that because Frostin actually suggested that move him or Radko.
Yeah. Well, Racco's not.
Racco's, there's no way
If
you're
you could
trading Falk
package
for
Racco, that'd be a bonus. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Racco's got to be packaged to get rid of him.
team would be
He's got
stupid.
a fairly team-friendly contract.
He does.
He's
Yeah, but you're
under
not trading
4.
Radko Gudas for fucking Justin
Falk.
Falk.
No.
You could trade him, but you got to package. You got to put
Well,
him in a
you'd
package.
be like, here, we
Yeah.
also want 2 of your first-round picks if you're going to give us that piece of shit.
But no.
give up a first-round pick for put him in there.
I would say, if you can package maybe a Hag, or maybe I don't want to give up Sanheim, but that's the other guy I was thinking of. If I had to trade it off, I'd say keep Sanheim, trade Hag. And then maybe if you have to, just to get it over the hill, you throw a late pick in there. You throw a later pick in there, you don't throw an early pick. That's the way I look at it. If you can throw Racco in there just to get fucking rid of him, do
Just
it.
to get rid of him.
Like, because then the spot's
not?
open for Moran. So you know what? I'll take that. That might be the best deal of choice
Could be.
for a fan.
Could be.
All right. So with that being said, that will do it for the first half of the Hockey Happy Hour. We hope that you all enjoyed us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Unfortunately, we're going to have to say bye-bye, but there will be a link in the comments section. Click on that, and you can join us for the rest here on YouTube. But with that being said, this was all brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, your certified public accounts located at 301 Oxford Valley Road, Yarmouth, PA. Give them a call, 215-369-3300. Hey, man, hopefully you guys have filed your taxes. If not, you better get ready to file an extension because, it's coming up. That deadline's coming up fast. And if you haven't, you better be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer.
So like 2 weeks?
About that.
4:15, right?
Yeah. So, guys, thank you all for joining us, like I said, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Hopefully, you guys will be able to click onto that link. Join us for YouTube on the second half. As for you on YouTube, don't go anywhere. Hockey Happy Hour is right back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com from the Real Talk Studios here in Mountie from New Jersey. I'm Matt Tsutsuti. This is the Penguin-loving Michael Klankoff.
Here I am.
And the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
Where'd he go?
He's sitting in the...
Oh, I'm right here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's sitting
You're
in the
not
chair.
that dark. You don't blend in with the chair.
Okay.
Okay. And
I was
over
going to
here
listen over there, but I decided not to.
behind the board is the sign guy, Mr. Ryan Brodo, causing all kinds of hell and chaos like he usually does.
Hello.
Yes.
He's not so innocent as he sounds.
All right, and this is brought to you by Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. So while we were going on break and during the break, we were handed these brackets that are all Philadelphia sports, I would say, entities, and not some icons, some
This hurt me.
front office people.
I have no, I have no love or hate for this. I actually had a good time filling this out, and
Good.
having a different perspective for you guys.
This
But I'm
hurts my
sure
heart.
I went with the same winner as most people did.
So did we all get to our final four?
Not
Yes,
yet.
I
I
got
haven't.
I got my winner.
I haven't yet.
Hold on,
so,
Daly.
My
Jump
winner
the gun
is-
now.
Let's
My
see
winner
here.
is
Mr. Sincerity still filling his out. Patience.
Yeah, hold on.
I have none.
You have none. You have no patience?
I have no patience.
Well, you
My
have-
biggest upset, I'll say, is definitely
I
Carlos.
want it now.
My biggest upset might be Carlos Ruiz or Andy Reid over Nick Foles.
What?
Not really.
I was like,
Oh.
Andy Reid looked like my grandfather, okay?
But-
That's why I always picked Andy
I thought we
Reid.
weren't talking about this yet. You told me to be patient. Why is he allowed to
I'm
talk
not picking
about
a
it?
winner.
No,
I'm
he's
just
not picking the
saying.
winner.
Just kidding.
Doesn't
Jesus
matter.
Christ.
You need patience.
All right,
Especially, I
I'm
mean, you're a
going
Ducks
to
fan. You should
really
really
go throw
get used to
caution to the
patience,
wind
you
on
know?
that one right there.
Well,
'Cause
we're a
there's-
winning
there-
franchise, so I don't know that.
Now,
There
right now,
is-
you're
I don't know how
not.
that-
Now, right now.
Now,
you're not.
Hey,
by the way,
listen.
there are two first-round matchups that are just absolutely, completely fucking unfair. One from a Flyers fan perspective, the other one from just a Philadelphia perspective right
you.
now.
Thank
We'll
you.
let you know in just a minute. But, let me see. What else do I got here?
Yep, that's right.
That was the plan.
While Maddie's filling out.
Yes.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, is it time?
What?
It is time for the NHL scoring update. So,
Quick, get the phone. Get the phone. Get the phone.
Stop cheating.
Stop cheating.
Jesus Christ. Michigan is also down by 18 points against Texas Tech right now.
Oh, my
That is
bracket's already
football.
done.
Tonight was a bad night for brackets.
I don't
okay?
like your second round. I'm just kidding.
What?
It is called agree. It is
Well, then-
All right. Cue the music.
All right.
I wasn't even looking at it.
Thank you, everybody. All right, here we go. We got the score update. What do we got? 8 games on the slate tonight. The Dallas Stars tied with the Edmonton Oilers 2-2. 4 minutes left in the third period. We have the LA Kings beating the Canucks 1-0 with about 6 minutes left in the second. The Blackhawks scored 3 goals in the first period as they were up 3-1 against the San Jose Sharks at the end of the first period. The Red Wings, after being up 2-0, force overtime and win 5-4 in that overtime. The Capitals beat the Hurricanes 3-2 in a much-needed game for the Hurricanes. Another big game here, probably the biggest matchup when it comes to playoffs, has got to be the Blue Jackets versus the Canadiens, as the Blue Jackets beat them 6-2, and the Canadiens were the first to score in that game as well. The Panthers beat the Senators 5-2. And the last game here was the Islanders versus the Jets, and the Islanders were down 3-4 with, just minutes left in the game, and they scored 2 goals in 33 seconds to win the game 5-4 over the Winnipeg Jets. So that is your score update. They were actually down 4-2 going into the third period, and they came back and won 5-4.
Wow.
I love when that happens.
No, I don't, because we're chasing the Islanders.
Oh.
okay, so
Well, then I feel
I
like
have
an
my
idiot.
final four.
All right.
All right, so my final four is interesting. So do I go first, or does everybody else want to go?
Go ahead, Maddie.
All right. So my final four: Harry Callis, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, and Allen Iverson.
Mr. Klinkoff.
I got B-Dog.
All right.
I got Brian Westbrook. I have Chase Utley and AI.
Mr. Daly.
I have a theme to mine.
Of course you do.
I always have a theme.
All right.
I have Harry Careless.
Yes.
I have World Series MVP Cole Hamels.
Wow.
Yeah. Chase Utley. And Mr. Hall of Famer, Mr. Perfect Game, Mr. No-Hitter in the playoffs, Roy Halladay.
So yours was so close to mine. Mine also had a theme. It was Harry Callis. It was Ryan Howard. It was Chase Utley, and it was Roy Halladay.
This was hard.
I had
This is
Howard
hard
in
to-
the
Yeah, who moved on?
Sweet 16.
So who? What was your finals, and then who ended up winning?
I got 1 versus 2. I got B-Dog versus Chase Utley.
Chalk.
I mean,
Chalk.
it's.
No, but I understand.
I mean, yeah, it's.
Who ended up winning?
I went with B-Dog.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I always liked Brian Dawkins. He was a guy that I never really hated. You know, I always respected his game. He was one of the best defenders I've ever seen play. So I mean, it's.
In words of Noah Eaton, Brian Dawkins is the best safety to ever dress in midnight green.
You were listening.
I was listening.
Yes, he also.
So
picked
he
Mr.
got a
Dawkins.
little too long-winded for me. I lost interest.
I had to rein him in. I had to bring out the car keys to bring him back.
My finals, I had to do it. Harry Callis versus Chase Utley.
You know what? That's mine.
And who won?
You gotta give it to Harry Callis.
Yeah, I
Wow.
gave it to
Listen,
Harry too.
okay.
You have to give it to Harry. I love Chase Utley with every inch of my heart, and half the reason I love him as much as I do is the calls that Harry Callis made.
Well,
Chase Utley, you are the man.
Yep.
Harry Callis is
Come
the,
on.
He's the voice of an entire era of Philadelphia baseball, and that era spans from I think the late 70s going all the way into the 80s, 90s, and into the early
Up until the point where he
2000s.
died.
Yeah.
So it's just like he was such a woven fabric of Philadelphia sport. You know, that it's just like it's almost tough to still even picture the Phillies without him. And he died how many years ago? You know,
Yeah, almost 10.
He's
10 years ago.
he was the voice of summer for a lot of people.
Voice of
and
my childhood.
voice of my childhood.
I just remember like he was the first voice you recognize. You know, when you think about it, we all have those sports commentators on our favorite teams or teams that we watch. You know, and you recognize him immediately. Harry Callis is that first voice when you in Philadelphia. Because I mean, no offense to Merrill Reese, but Reese does the radio, so it's like you may or may not hear him. You know, no offense to JJ, but JJ just does hockey, and hockey is the number 4 sport in Philly.
JJ does.
He does baseball,
baseball.
but he does it on the radio when the Flyers aren't playing. And, you know, I think people they more like associate Anderson with that. But, you know, and then the same thing with basketball. I don't know who's the basketball one. Does anybody know?
Not for radio, I'm not familiar, but I know Mark Zumoff is the
That's
TV
it.
guy.
Okay.
I was
And
trying to think of it.
He's a legend, obviously.
So, I mean, it's like that's the first voice you recognize out of any sport. It's like you recognize Harry Callis' voice immediately.
And to provide context for the people at home that are wondering, why are the hockey guys talking about, Harry and all this stuff? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but you guys, in some sort of fashion, over the next handful of weeks to months, you guys are going to do one of your own brackets.
Yep.
We
Bringing it
are.
back to
You,
the-
Yeah,
you want to know
it's
why?
something we talked
You want to
about.
know why? Because I'm doing this in spite of this. You want to know why? Because motherfucker, you have Jimmy fucking Rollins against Claude fucking Drew. That is not fucking fair. Because I'm like,
you know Jimmy's gonna win
yeah, 'cause I'm
probably
like, that is
9
not
out
fair
of 10
at
times.
all. Like, what the fuck?
Probably
like,
10 out of
seriously.
10 times.
Oh,
Probably
and
99
on
times
top
out
of
of
it, you got
100.
Wayne Simmons versus B-Dog. Oh, wow, shit. I don't know who's going to fucking win
Well,
that one. Christ.
I'll
Like,
ask you guys
seriously.
this, from 3, as 3 hockey guys. If which Flyers do you guys believe were snubbed that should have been on this list?
Well, unfortunately, since it's
Danny Briere.
Briere,
He was almost
yeah.
there.
Lindros, Leclerc,
But see, the
Eric
Lindros,
Desjardins.
Well, that was 90s.
Yeah, Lindros, he only played 1 year in the 2000s, and
Oh,
he
right,
was
right,
hurt.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can make a case, though, for Lindros and Desjardins and Leclerc because they did play into the 2000s. Not long, but they did.
I would
almost-
say definitely Danny Briere, maybe Chris Pronger. I would think maybe would be my
Pronger
two
was
guys.
Gagne, because
he was in the early cut.
he was early 2000s up until
He was like
around,
last four in kind of guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he was 16th seed,
Well-
but had the win to get in.
You know what's funny?
I got you.
You know what's funny? The guy who replaced him
I see what you did there.
was Wayne Simmons,
Mm.
because a lot of people I was with said, "Oh, Wayne Simmons was more loved," and I disagree with that
He,
personally.
I don't know.
More
I
loved than
do
Danny
disagree.
Briere?
I think Wayne Simmons
No.
was
Or
loved
Gagne.
in his first 2 seasons here.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, the last 3 years it's been, okay, we got to get rid of Simmer. You know, we got to
Yeah.
trade him.
Yeah.
He's the guy that if we do trade, it's going to be him.
And now
He's been
everybody's
traded.
talking-
But this is the thing that made
But he-
me mad was when he was traded, all the Phillies been, oh, we're going to miss you. I
Exactly.
can't wait. Oh, my God, I hope
And now
you
you
come
have all
back.
these guys that are sitting
like-
there saying like, "Oh, he's going to be a free agent next year. He's not going to re-sign with the Preds. Bring him back on the cheap."
It's like you just
That
try
is
to get
fu-
rid of him.
What has he done on the Predators? He's
That's
got
what-
like one
He
fucking
literally
goal.
has one
Like,
assist, I think,
it's
since
like-
he's been
a goal.
traded.
It's like, I'm just saying, guys.
He does have a goal.
Does he?
It's like-
Okay.
It's like he's not.
Well, he's doing great.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
not-
he is on a playoff team, so I guess
But
he's not doing too
he's
bad.
not fucking lighting the lamp up.
No,
I mean,
he's
it's
not.
Like, it's like one of those things. Like, guys, listen. It was a move that I saw coming a long time ago. It was gonna happen at
But
some
that's-
point. And the fact that people are regretting it, it's like, guys,
But that's the
you
thing,
can't
though.
fucking regret this choice. I'm like,
No.
you got to move forward.
You got draft picks and you got
listen,
Hartman, who's
I-
who's been playing great.
Yeah, Hartman he's been busting his ass
Yeah.
out there on the ice. Yes, you
He's up
haven't
to, I
seen
think,
the
12
results.
goals on the season. Obviously, not all with Philadelphia,
yeah, but still, like, he's trying, and I can give him that. Here's the thing, though. It's like you knew it was coming. It's like,
But
you-
that's-
and it's like,
But those are the frauds of the Philly fan
unfortunately,
base. Is
and
that
they're the most
ones that,
vocal. Yeah.
oh, like there is some that stuck through him, stuck with him
a lot
through
of 'em.
all this. Which I'll give some of those people credit, but there was so many people that I saw like, once we posted pictures of him being traded, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you." Like, you're full of shit.
I wasn't.
Like-
see, that didn't bother me. That's the thing. Like, as a fan, like, I looked at it as like, okay, what do we get for him? Did we
Yeah.
get anything worth
And
a
you
damn
did.
back for
And you
him?
did.
That was the thing.
Here's an interesting one.
Shoot.
Carter Hart.
See,
He's been in the city not very long. He's been with the team not very long, but he was very beloved. when
Bryce
he got
made
here.
it, damn it.
he was in an early cut of it, but the whole part of it was, if we were cutting guys out, like for example, like Froston had some really good names. He had Danny Briere, which we agree with, Jeremy Roenick, which I would have put
Jeremy
on.
Roenick.
there.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
technically is-
Roenick. Who
yeah.
didn't love Roenick?
The
Yeah.
problem is the reason why he didn't make the final cut was I counted 3 things into it. It's
Peter
a,
Forsberg.
Forsberg. Well, Forsberg had that one good year. And
You're
then
fired.
Then he was just injury prone.
there were
I don't
three.
know.
There were 3 categories that he had to meet to really, or a person had to meet to get in here. Years played in Philadelphia, so Roenick only played 2 or 3. Production, and obviously love. So, for example, Carter Hart. I understand what you're saying. Like, if Bryce is in here, Carter has to be in here. But Bryce is like the outlier because when he showed up here, he broke so many records. He changed everything within the course
yeah,
of 2 hours.
Most sold jerseys in the first
Yeah.
day.
Well,
Hart didn't really.
They ran
do
out of
that.
ours.
You
You
know
know
what
what
I
I
mean?
Here's the thing. And to be fair, though, he has an established pro body of work. Harper does that he's bringing to the Philadelphia Phillies. Whereas Hart, he's coming out of the juniors with a lot of promise, and you hope that he's showing signs that yes, his potential isn't fake. It's like, okay, great. I can't wait for the future. I think with Harper, it's more of an expected, like he's supposed to be a legend immediately. With
Well,
Philadelphia.
let's think about what the bracket is.
Mhm.
It's beloved, Philly, athletes, whatever.
Sports figures. Yeah.
Sports figures. That's a
Yeah.
better way to put it. Carter Hart's. People have been calling for Carter Hart for 2 years.
years, yes.
True. Listen. I think he deserves to be on this list.
Now, well, here's the question.
Well, he'll
Do
be
you-
on ours.
Well, there's 2
He would
parts. of it.
definitely be on ours.
Yeah.
a big part of it was like, for example, we were talking about Wentz during the break, and we were
Yeah.
saying, oh, it sucks because Wentz probably got eliminated a lot, early in the rounds for a lot of people's brackets because he was going up against Harry. But my whole thing and my argument yesterday on the show was, if we did the same bracket 3 years from now, Wentz is going to be a higher seed, and he's absolutely going farther. Carter Hart's going to be that same type of a guy.
Granted, he gets back to 2017 production, not
Yeah.
what he did last year.
Yes.
Although his numbers weren't too bad
Well,
last
his
year.
numbers weren't too far off from
And-
the tops.
No, he just couldn't get a win.
And my question to you guys were, because I had a lot of people who said Carter Hart should be on the list. My question is, do you believe then that Carter Hart is more deserving to be on the list than Simmons, Giroux, Danny Briere, Jeremy Roenick, Simone Gagne, the likes John LeClaire?
No.
So
It's too early.
I would say maybe.
That's
No,
too
I would
early.
say
Fair enough.
maybe Simmons.
That's a fair
I
argument.
feel like as like a last, I mean, obviously he's the last seed on this.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's almost like an honorable mention kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like, okay, like we know 9 times out of 10 he's not going to beat, Dawkins, but
Yeah.
we still have him on the list. He's a young pup, first year in the NHL. I mean, he's only played half a season, so it's I understand, but and like Brian said, I mean, people have been calling his name for
Yeah, it's true.
a year
Right.
now, so a year or two. So,
So
it's
the
like,
question of whether or not he's beloved, it's no question. It's just
yeah. But I get where you're
I
saying.
get where your criteria is coming from, and I get where you're coming from, and I get why he didn't make the list. But
But there's guys like Sam Hankey on there, which I understand, which we talked
people
about
love
on break.
Sam Hickey
but,
for some reason. I
well,
don't know
because
why.
he fucking tanked.
Yeah, but
Hey, look at where they're at
but
now.
let's
No,
be,
he
but
got
let's
his
be,
Embiid.
but
Yeah.
let's be fair though. AI wins over him every
Yeah.
single
Oh,
time.
big time.
though.
Well,
Like,
and the other thing with the Carter Hart thing, Brian, like I agree with you. I love the kid. I mean, if we talked about current athletes right now, he's towards the top of the list.
Absolutely.
It's just so hard now that we're in 2019. We're putting him into almost a 20-year window. And it's tough for me to say,
I
and a
totally
lot of
understand.
people, because like I said,
Totally understand.
it was a group of like 30 people who really had their hands in this bracket. It was at the end, it was tough for us to say guys like Carter Hart or like Zach Ertz or Alshon, guys who are loved right now, but if we put them in a bubble of 20 years, it's really hard to take them over somebody who
Are they still going to be loved at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
Who
Well-
was the biggest star back in 2001 when we didn't have a lot of big stars in 2001, which now we have about 40.
well, if we're going back to them with the Phillies,
See the winners.
yeah, you have to go back to the Phillies on that one. You would be like Pat Burrell and Bobby
He
Abreu
was
and
on the
guys
list at
like
one
them,
point, yeah.
basically. So
Actually, he's not far off. Marlon Byrd was center fielder in 2001.
freaking hated Marlon Byrd. I couldn't stand
He looked dead at me in 2003. This motherfucker psyched me out. I'm sitting first row in left center field. Looks dead at me in the face. I could feel his eyes in my eyes. We locked.
And he said, Penguins are going to suck in 10 years.
Exactly what he told me.
boy,
No.
was he
Well,
wrong.
we won a cup.
Well, he was wrong.
He was. I see why he was playing center field.
Sitting there, yo, Marlon, let me get the ball. He's like, goes to throw it at me. He's like, nah. He turns right there and throws it to a couple kids up. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
His respect went downhill.
Hated the guy ever since.
That's all right. I think he spent 2-3 years on the Phillies and never
And then
did
came
anything.
back.
And sucked. That was the beginning of the
I
end.
was like, and then I got tickets
That was
again.
what,
I'm like,
2015
Marley, remember
or
me?
Something like that.
I think he was on
Remember
the
me, you
2013
motherfucker.
squad.
13.
Yeah.
Marley, you son of a bitch, you remember me?
You still suck.
Right.
The
Just give me the ball.
The Starks never forget.
I don't get it.
But anyway, so this was an interesting bracket, and I will say
2 weeks away from Sunday. Sorry.
I was,
Save me.
but I was gonna say like
Bunch
I'm
of
actually
girls on this show.
I'm surprised. There's only one name I didn't recognize. I was stunned, and that was Jay Wright.
By the way, after the show,
Villanova.
Head coach Villanova.
after
Yeah.
the show, we have to talk. I have a theory. By the way. We gotta
Ooh,
talk.
okay, I'm down.
I'm actually pretty impressed. I remembered
Hashtag
any of
girl
these guys.
talk.
So
It is.
hashtag girl
He
talk.
said it is.
It is.
I have a lot of theories
anyway-
that are happening.
So speaking of brackets, let me see here. Let me pull up the current playoff picture right now
Real
for
quick,
the NHL.
while you're doing that, I do want to get to our poll question that was out, and it's like we were
Sure.
talking about defense being a disappointment. Agree or disagree? Well, 86% of our fans agree that the defense has still been a disappointment. So
Out of how many votes?
out of 64,
Nice.
So
Smart fan.
I mean, it's
that's
something
pretty
that
good.
the poll was only put out 2 hours ago. So I mean, you still have 22 hours to vote on it.
Who are
You know, I understand it's late here on the East Coast right now. I'm sure not a lot of people got to see it, but you know, we'll have better numbers for you in the morning.
Yeah. All right. So let me take a look at what we got now with
Poor
all the
Kyle
scores that you had stated that are now collected and in the current playoff situation. We'll start in the West. Calgary would be facing off with Colorado, and Flames currently have a 3-0-0 record. One of those wins was in overtime, but that was all the way back in October. And then they beat them in November, and then they beat them in January. So they haven't really faced them all that recently. So that's interesting. Colorado's fucked. San Jose versus Vegas. Now this is where the series is going to be an odd one, and I actually call for an upset in this series. I think Vegas could beat San Jose in this series.
Oh, absolutely. If I remember correctly, and I'm going to actually pull it up just in case I'm wrong. Colorado. Vegas is still playing some very good hockey, and San Jose is, well, they're San Jose.
Yeah, you know they're going to do it. It's coming. You know it is. So with that, we have...
Of course it's not going to give it to me. Stupid mobile app.
What?
It's
Do
not
you
gonna
need
give me the
help
last
again?
10. No, I
Oh.
don't need help. I just...
Help again.
I'm frustrated with everything.
We have...
my life.
We have Winnipeg and Dallas. This is a 3-1-0 Stars leading the series. So their most recent meeting was March 25th, and the Stars absolutely smacked the Winnipeg Jets 5-2. That was a few days ago.
That was a couple days ago. I don't know why I almost said that was tonight.
So, yeah. So the Dallas Stars kind of own Winnipeg this year. That's not a good omen. I mean, yeah, it's the regular season, but still. You still think Winnipeg wins this?
Yes,
All right.
I will go
No.
Winnipeg.
No,
No.
I'm actually going to call
All
for the
the-
upset.
You're going to say Dallas upsets
I-
Dallas.
I think Dallas has a better goaltender in Bishop, but I still think Winnipeg just has more firepower to them, and I think it could go 6-7 games. But I would take the Jets in the first round there.
See, if Hellebuck plays up to his ability, him and Bishop could have one hell of a go,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this series would go the distance. I'm going to say,
I mean, I think it goes 7,
I-
but I think Dallas pulls the upset.
yeah, I'm going to
I
say
can't see Winnipeg losing at
I'm going to
home
say
in Game 7
Winnipeg
in the
does win
first
it,
round.
but I think there's a theory to this. I think Winnipeg would win it, but I think they get fucked in the second round because I don't think they would be. I think they get caught flat-footed in
Yeah.
the playoffs, though, by Dallas. I think they do. Nashville and St. Louis. That's the final matchup. The Blues own this one, 4-1-0. But, of course, their last meeting, though, was February. So it's a long time ago.
Well, then again,
And
they
St.
also.
Louis has gotten better since
I
then.
was
Yes.
gonna say St. Louis. That means they beat them when they were shit. So
Yeah, so they haven't faced them when they were good.
again, I still think Nashville could win this series.
So Smashville.
Yes, Nashville. I think Nashville will win the series. Probably 6 games. Things are different in the playoffs. I mean, take out everything from the regular season. You know, it's
It depends on who's playing well going in.
the fucking Devils went 3-1 against Tampa Bay last year. Okay, and it didn't mean shit. I mean, I know they didn't play each other in the playoffs, but it doesn't mean shit.
No,
Okay?
Wait
No,
a minute,
going
the
into the postseason like a second season.
Wait,
so
no,
whatever
That's what
happened
I'm
in the
saying.
regular
I'm
season,
just saying. In the regular season last year, the Devils were 3-1 against.
They did
Tampa
face
Bay.
Tampa.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh well, they fucking
They got
lost.
beat by they got beat in the
Okay.
first round by Tampa. Yeah.
So I was right. That
We-
clears
your
everything
point.
up.
Wait, we were
it proves
yeah,
your point.
we were slated to face Tampa,
you're
but
right.
because
It
of
was
all
co- it
those
was
last
Columbus that
minute
played Washington.
losses,
You're
yeah,
right, you're
the
right.
Devils got
Okay.
slated to deal with them.
Honestly, I like Nashville in 7 in that series.
I would say Nashville
It's
in
going to come down to goaltending.
I'm going to say Nashville in 6. I think Rene, I think he snags a game, and that eliminates St. Louis. All right. Let's see here. We go to the East. Tampa and Columbus. The Lightning clearly have this one, 3-0-0. What a shock.
Tampa's got that series regardless.
Tampa does have that series. I mean,
Columbus made those trades, and as good as they were on paper. On the ice, they're not panning out the way they thought they were going to.
They
Wow,
still
sounds like the Cleveland Browns
Yeah.
might be. I hope.
I mean, they're better. they're better than the Browns just by showing up at least. There's that. You know?
Browns. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. Let's stay on hockey.
Oh God. Either way, Ohio, you're fucked still.
No championships for you.
Yes, we award you no championships. Enjoy the one that LeBron got you. All right, on to Boston and Toronto. 3-1-0 for the Bruins. I was really high on Toronto through most of the year, but oh my
I've been
God,
we've been
Boston's
talking about
been-
this matchup for months
Boston's
now, and
been
I still think
fucking
it's going to be
crushing
Boston.
it. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'll
They-
say 6. I'll say 6 games. I think Boston will beat them.
Toronto is gonna lose. Like it's like, God damn it! Like like Toronto. Come on, you face these guys every year and you still can't fucking beat them. Like what the fuck, you know? So
You know what? I think Toronto upsets.
really, you think they do it this
Yeah,
year?
I think they finally do it
Nah, I
this year.
can't say it.
All right, I'm gonna.
It's gonna be a
I will
hell of a
withdraw
series.
my.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna withdraw. I'm gonna say Toronto loses. I'm gonna say Boston wins it. They're gonna win it in 7. Unfortunately, Toronto's gonna have those flashbacks from when JVR was on the team.
PTSD.
Yeah. Oh.
JVR. Tavares just falls.
So what we got
You weren't
here?
even there. It still affects me.
Can't affect him on the golf course though for JVR. So, oh,
It's all right. Getzlav's already golfing.
yeah. His tea time has already happened. Oh, so what's next? Washington and Carolina. Capitals have this one 4-0 in the regular season,
Wow.
but
Yeah, and they won tonight.
Carolina's going to give them a fight. This is not going to be a straightforward cut and dry series. This is going to be another one of those, they have half a shot of actually upsetting
Peter
Washington
Mrazek's
in the
been
first
playing pretty damn
round.
good for them.
So, but I'm going to say Washington will gut it out because I think what's
Yeah.
going to
It's
happen.
going to be like a 5. It's going to be a 5-game series.
You say Washington?
Goaltending.
Yeah, to be fair, the goaltending does favor Washington in
Big
this
time.
series. I don't know, though. I think Carolina, with the year they're having, I think they could make it a series. I think that they could actually, give Washington a bit of a trouble in the first round. Because remember, this is Washington we're talking about. I don't care if they won a cup. This is still fucking Washington. So,
Yeah, but this is also the team that turned it on last year when they didn't have the President's Trophy. And then they went and won a cup.
But what happened? How did they do it? They lost the first 2 games at home. Tell me that can't happen with Carolina.
I'm not
They
saying it
lose
can't
the first
happen.
2. I'm not saying they don't win, but I'm just saying it could very easily happen with Carolina where they lose the first 2 again
Oh, I
and do
think
the
so.
same fucking thing.
You lose the
Uh,
first 2 and then you win a cup. So
Yeah.
whatever.
there you go. Real fast. Islanders in Pittsburgh. Series is tied 2-1-1, and 2 of those games went to shootouts. The most recent one did, but that was back in December. I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Isles.
Thanks. You know who I'm going with.
Isles.
Yeah,
so-
clearly it's the Islanders. Yeah. All right. So that's what the playoff current situation is. We'll see if it changes come next week because it very well could. Columbus and Montreal are whipping each other's ass to try and get to that
Yeah.
playoff spot. And in the West, there's like 4 teams trying to get to the spot Colorado has
Yeah,
right
Washington
now.
hasn't
So-
locked up that first seed yet, so
Oh, boy. Watch it, folks.
That,
All
that number
right.
1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, they're only 22 points back. Washington?
I'm saying they haven't locked it from the Islanders or the Penguins or the Hurricanes.
No, only 3 points on
Hey,
the
man.
Islanders.
Yeah,
Hey, if you draw Washington, there you go. You get to make up for last year.
I don't want to play them in the first round.
Oh, come on. You know you're going to beat them. Relax.
At least you're playing the first round.
All right, folks. That will do
Gotta
it for
clinch
this
first.
edition of That'll do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. If you joined us on YouTube from Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, thank you very much. If you were here with us throughout the entire thing, thank you very much as well. And thank you, as always, for those who are not hearing this right now who just joined us for the first half. We love you all. And we hope you join us for next week as we will be right back here, same time, same channel, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll be talking more about what's going on in the NHL, playoff situations, and if the Flyers have totally bumfucked this season, what they already have. So, to do with all that, this was brought to you by Skinzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.skinzanosports.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on A2DRadio.com. It is time for last call. For Matt Sassuti, Mike Klinkov, Brian Daly, Ryan Brodo. We will see you all next week on A2DRadio.com.
Deuces.